The snow fell heavy on the small town of Millbrook. As Zara stumbled through the empty streets, her blue skin turning darker with each passing moment, and her body shaking from the cold that seeped into her bones, even through her damaged thermal suit. She had crashed 3 hours ago in the forest outside town, and her emergency beacon was broken along with most of her ship systems. And now she was alone on this strange planet trying to find help before hypothermia took her life. Zara approached the first house she saw and knocked weakly on the door. But when the elderly man opened it and saw her alien features, his eyes went wide with fear, and he slammed the door shut before she could even speak. And she heard the locks clicking into place. She tried the next house where a young couple lived, but the woman screamed when she saw Zara's forearms and crystalline eyes, and her partner quickly pushed the door closed, while shouting something about calling the authorities. House after house turned her away, and some people didn't even open their doors, just peered through windows before closing their curtains. And Zara felt her strength fading, as the earth cold proved far more dangerous than she had anticipated for her species. Her legs gave out near the edge of town, and she collapsed against a fence post, wondering if this frozen world would become her grave so far from her home planet of Vexara, where warm winds and 3 suns kept everyone comfortable. Through blurring vision, she saw one more house at the end of the road, and it was smaller than the others, with peeling paint and a crooked mailbox. But she had no other options left, using the fence for support. Zara pulled herself forward step by agonizing step until she reached the front door and raised one trembling hand to knock, but barely managed a soft tap before her arm fell back down. The door opened, and a woman in her late 20s stood there wearing an oversized sweater and holding a cup of coffee. And her name was Lisa Martinez, and she looked at Zara without fear or disgust, just concern. "Come inside," Lisa said immediately, and reached out to help support Zara's weight as she guided the alien woman through the doorway into the warmth of her small living room. Zara tried to protest, tried to explain that she was different, that most humans seemed afraid of her kind, but Lisa just shook her head and said, "You're freezing, and that's all that matters right now." Lisa helped Zara onto the couch and wrapped her in 3 thick blankets before rushing to turn up the thermostat and start making hot tea, even though she wasn't sure if aliens could drink it. "Why are you helping me?" Zara managed to ask through chattering teeth. "When most of your people slam their doors in my face." Lisa returned with the tea and knelt beside the couch, and her brown eyes were kind as she said, "Because you're a living being who needs help, and I don't care what planet you're from or how many arms you have over the next hour." Lisa brought more blankets and heated packs and sat with Zara, making sure she was recovering. And Zara learned that Lisa lived alone after her parents passed and worked at the local library, and had always believed there was life beyond Earth. Zara told Lisa about her mission as a scout for her people's exploration fleet, and how a solar flare had damaged her ship, forcing an emergency landing, and how her species had been watching Earth for years, wondering if humanity would be ready for contact. "But after tonight," Zara said sadly, "I think my people were right to hesitate, because most humans do not want us here." Lisa was quiet for a moment, then said, "Most humans are afraid of what they don't understand. But that doesn't mean all of us are, and maybe your people just need to meet the right humans first." As Zara's core temperature stabilized and her skin returned to its normal lighter blue shade, she felt something she hadn't expected to feel on this mission, and that was hope, mixed with gratitude. Lisa let Zara stay in her guest room for 3 days while the alien woman repaired her communication device. And during that time, they talked for hours about their different worlds, and Lisa showed Zara human movies and music, and taught her to make scrambled eggs. On the 3rd night, Zara's fleet responded to her signal and confirmed they would arrive in 2 days to retrieve her. And Zara felt both relief and unexpected sadness. "I will tell my people about you," Zara said to Lisa as they sat together, drinking tea, "and I will tell them that not all humans are afraid, and that some like you understand what it means to show kindness to a stranger." Lisa smiled and said, "And maybe when your people do make official contact, they'll remember this and know that some of us are ready to be friends." When the Vexaran ship arrived to collect Zara, she hugged Lisa goodbye with all 4 arms and promised to return one day, and Lisa stood in her yard watching the ship disappear into the night sky. 3 months later, first contact was made between Earth and the Vexaran Empire, and it was peaceful and cooperative, and when the Vexaran ambassador arrived for the signing ceremony, She specifically requested that Lisa Martinez be present as an honored guest. The galaxy watched as two species began a new friendship, and at the center of it all was one human woman who had simply opened her door on a cold night and said, "Come inside," proving that sometimes the greatest act of diplomacy is just basic human kindness.